Winston Churchill said, "Success is not final, failure is not fatal, it's the courage to continue that counts." And that's what this video is all about today. I failed on day 10. I didn't realize it till day 11. Look, failure is part of the plan. It's literally built into the 75 Hard plan because you have the Live Hard program. 75 Hard is the beginning. Then you go to phase 1 and phase 2 and phase 3. The whole thing creates this Live Hard program, and failure is part of the plan. Also, you know what's part of the plan? Making sure that you hit the like button and the subscribe button if this video hits home for you. And maybe share it with somebody that needs to hear this. All throughout 75 Hard, I read every day for 75 days, usually more than 10 pages. I started a new book, and it's pretty dry. It's about the basics of the remodeling industry and running a business, and it's a lot of numbers, and it's not a fun book. It's not a book you're gonna be like, I'm waking up this morning, I'm gonna read this thing. It's not an excuse. I'm just telling you where I'm coming from. So I read every day, even the 2 weeks in between 75 Hard and phase 1, I read. And then I started this book, kind of boring. But that's not the book's fault. It's my fault that I didn't read. I realized it this morning. I looked in the mirror and I was like, look, nobody's gonna know I didn't read. I can make it up with 20 pages today. You start making these little things, these crazy things. You start lying to yourself and lying to people. It's when you're honest with yourself and you can say, I screwed up. I totally messed this up. I didn't read 10 simple pages of this book. I did all the other steps and I just didn't read. And you look at yourself in the mirror and you have to realize that's your fault. That's your problem. You failed. It was your responsibility to do that, nobody else's. And as silly as it sounds about reading 10 pages of a book, if you're really trying to take your life to the next level, every little detail counts. That's what this challenge is all about. Now, I want to go over quickly the reasons as to why it made my life harder to pass yesterday than the last 75 plus 10 days of doing this first phase. These are not excuses. And if you want to know, like, what did Ryan go through that has changed in the last 75 days, let me just explain to you what happened. These are not excuses by any means. I'm just trying to let you know these are things that happen to all of us in life. They are not reasons. They are not excuses. They are challenges. And these are like first world problems. All right? Like, there is way worse shit out there to be dealing with. So by no means am I saying that this is tough, woe is me. What I am saying is these are all new issues to me as of this week, right when I started this challenge. Number 1, the time change. The time change this week, I have a 2.5-year-old and he still thinks if it's 6 o'clock, it's really 7 o'clock. Time to wake up, mama, dada. Secondly, Melissa slept with Noah a lot and she just transitioned back to sleeping in bed with me. So he's been waking up in the middle of the night, completely throwing us all off, which, you know what? No sleep I can deal with. I barely get any sleep. Where it really throws me off is the bedroom for a while was my safe space. I'd wake up, brush my teeth, do what I needed to do, drink my pre-workout right outside my doors where the kitchen is, and then I'd get back in here, I'd read, I'd do my visualization, and then I'd do my workout right in front of the bed. Like, it all happened right here. And now that he's in bed, everything else changes because now you're trying to shuffle weights around and you're trying to be quiet. Again, not excuses. These are the things that were challenges for me this week. A really big one was one of my self-imposed additional tasks. You have to do 3 additional power tasks in this phase. One of them was I wanted to get at least 6.5 hours of sleep. I've been having some really abnormally long days this week. I don't know why. And that's just pushed everything back. And I didn't even get to bed till like 12:30. You do the 6.5 hours. You wake up really late. I still try to get the workout. Like, let me tell you something. Trying to get the rest really only works if you have a hard bedtime. Otherwise, you are going to be behind the rest of the day. I'm just telling you now. Don't do what I did. Don't say, I'm getting my 6. You're better at getting your 4.5. But I made it a task to get the other 6.5. So it made it really difficult. Again, challenges, not excuses. So what are the best ways for me to attack these additional challenges? How can I fix this? How can I not deal with this again? These are things you need to think about. You need to see how you failed on the first leg of your 75 Hard or different phase journey or different parts of life and say, all right, I screwed up. I failed. How do I not do this again? Here's what I came up with. 3 basic things. I need to create a new space. I don't care if it's in the garage. I don't care if it's in the dog's room. One of those two places has to be my new space where I wake up and then I just move and shuffle right out to there. Secondly, I need to plan my daily routine better. This is something I've been trying to work on, and I feel like I'm getting a little better, but I need to make a massive switch like tomorrow. I think I need to start really doing some time blocking for every hour of the day, every day of the week. Days off, days on, work days, play days, grocery shopping, everything goes in a time block. I think that's where I need to go with it. I need to develop something like that ASAP. And finally, in order for me to still get the 6.5 hours, and let me tell you, I was actually feeling really good, by the way. I was starting to feel rested, but the stress came in throughout the rest of the day. I was already behind in all the things I used to do earlier in the morning. I used to get up at 3:30 or 4. Now I'm getting up at like 6. I almost would rather have the 4 hours of sleep and have the me time in the morning than have the rest time, wake up at like 6:30 and just be behind all day. It is not my style. I like being up before the rest of the world's up. And finally, Melissa said something to me right before I recorded this video. And she said, well, you only have to do the 30 days over again. This morning you said it was 75. And while I may have said 75 and I meant 30, you need to realize something here. I treat day 1 like day 74 of 75, and it's all the same risk. I treat day 10 like day 10,000, and I just kept going. And if I screw up, I got to start all the way back over at 1. That is the mentality that you have to have, not just for the program. The program helps you create the mentality. You have to realize that. I actually am really serious about this, as much as a lot of people might see this as like a challenge on the internet. This is what happens in 75 days when you realize it's not a joke. Nothing is a joke. If you're going to do something, stay fully committed to it. I am committed to the task at hand, and any setback sucks, no matter what that task is. It is a mindset in all areas of life. Have integrity when you look in the mirror. Don't lie to yourself, which leads you to lie to other people. Take ownership of your issues, your struggles, your problems. It's all your fault. I need you to realize that. Nobody else is doing this stuff to you. Your personal problems are your personal problems, and you have to fix them, and this program is a great way to fix them. So again, take ownership, have integrity, toughen the fuck up. Day 2 is tomorrow. Love you, love yourself. I'll talk to you tomorrow.